Good afternoon. Welcome to Mike and the Hoss on Wolfeboro Community Television. I'm Mike Danais.
And I'm Charlie Hossack.
Back in studio.
We are. I love being in the studio.
This is season six, episode 4. So we're rolling along. We are still finding things to talk about.
We are. I mean, and I think we're going to end up with more stuff to talk about.
Well,
it looks, so I don't know.
Big news that we get to
Looking
talk
promising.
about. Things are turning. Yeah, but let's thank our sponsors first.
Yeah.
So Downtown Grill and Cafe.
Yep. Skelly's Market.
And Morrissey's Porch and Pub.
Yeah. Thank you, sponsors.
Alley Champagne Behind the Glass.
Allie. We love Allie. It's great to have Allie back.
Heading off to Keene State.
Yep. Keene State. She's going to be a film major, and hope she'll get back there in the end of August. So that's going to be exciting, and we still hope that we're going to get a chance to see you, Allie, as the seasons continue, which will be great.
COVID update. We're going to run through a whole bunch of different things locally. Let's start with the bad. The Chad and Shrine football game has been canceled this year.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing.
It's not a good thing because that was kind of the measuring stick that we're going to try to use for football in the fall.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, and I know this is probably not a popular opinion, and it's probably too late, but one of the things, we may have mentioned this on the show, it would kind of be nice if we could switch some sports around, where you take a sport like football that's fully contact and replace it with a sport that is less contact so that we could possibly have a fall season. You know, obviously the one that comes to mind would be baseball. I think soccer is in the category that's considered non-contact, although there seems to be a lot of contact in soccer, but it is considered a non-contact sport. But just something so that the kids can play. We talked, they can golf. We could probably play some field hockey. We definitely
I'm gonna be devil's advocate on this.
Oh, okay, all right.
So, move football to the spring, baseball to the fall.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What if you have a baseball soccer player?
Yeah, and you're going to have that, and that's the thing that I worry about too. What if you move it to the fall and you have like my son, you have a baseball soccer player. So now
said that.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gosh. I actually do pay attention to you. Yeah, so no,
Not
it's true.
really.
So you have a situation where you're going to have some compromise between the coaches.
Or you're putting the kids in a position where they're going to have to make a choice.
Yeah, I would like to think though at Kingswood they wouldn't have to make a choice, because I think at Kingswood we would be able to do what's best for the student, and they would kind of be able to figure that out amongst the coaches.
Right,
and
so you moved. So now we're to football and lacrosse in the spring.
Yeah, and you know that's an issue too, because
you're a football coach. That's that's a 6-day-a-week gig.
It is, and it's I don't think it's a great solution, but it is a solution because I think ideally, and I think you'll probably agree with me, we want the kids to be able to play sports.
So, and we don't know this, but do you see a scenario where there might not be football, but there will be other sports?
I mean, I don't know. Can you do that? I don't know if you can do that. I don't make any rules. I just like throw out ideas. I'm an idea guy. But I don't know. I mean, I personally, from just the Haas parent perspective, I'd be okay with that. I mean, if golfers are going to go out and golf, then that's their sport. Go and do it. They're not in contact with each other.
I haven't heard sports specific cancellations. I have just heard, are we going to have fall sports?
Right.
Or are we going to have
Yeah, it's just kind of are we all in or right? I mean, we're in the baseball world right now, and we're playing a lot of baseball, and baseball's it seems to be working, even under the COVID guidelines and everything. It's good to be back out there. So I think there's a way to do fall sports, and I'm sure the NHIAA, they're talking about it. I know that Maine, the reason why I brought up the switch in the sports, Maine is seriously looking at making switches as to different seasons for sports. But I don't know. And how is that going to impact our indoor sports come winter?
Well, and I mean, decisions would have to be made pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably at a point where it might be too late. But
I mean, football's getting they're ramping up.
Absolutely.
I mean, they haven't green. I know there's 7-on-7s going on, isn't there?
We have nothing. Well, Kingswood specific, we have not started. Kids are working out independly at home. There's a workout program that they're doing.
How about within the state? Are there
nothing yet?
Nothing. Okay.
No, the governor did open it up that fall teams can practice.
Right.
Yeah, so we're hoping that maybe after July 1st, Kingswood will be able to practice fall sports.
So, the fact that the governor opened up that practices can happen.
Yes.
For fall sports.
Yeah.
Including football, he didn't push out
He
football.
didn't. No, didn't push out anything.
I mean, I think that's good news. I wonder, the Chad, the Shrine game and so on. You're bringing kids from throughout different sectors of the 2 states.
Yeah.
You're putting them in dorms. They're eating in cafeterias.
Right.
They're living together. I wonder if that had something to do with that decision rather than the football itself.
Possibly, but let's use a college student. There are a lot of colleges that you just described the same scenario that are going back in 5 or 6 weeks.
Right. I don't know.
Maybe that's part of it.
I'm hoping that's the reason. I'm just kind of hoping that's the reason. The Chad and the Shrine game are cancelable. It doesn't move the needle great, but if you cancel a kid's senior season, like we saw in baseball and lacrosse and so on this spring, that's very impactful.
It is.
Whereas if you cancel that one game,
yeah,
those kids have already
they're already committed if they're going to play at the next level or whatever.
So,
sure. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. I think we're going to start hearing things. We need to. I mean, we're filming this the last day of June. We're moving to July, and you know how quickly it is. And all of a sudden, we're looking at fall sports and school and all that.
And the off-season stuff, or the preseason,
preseason, yeah, exactly,
is happening in July for all the sports. So, I don't know. I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I really am, because I think if fall can happen, then winter will happen. If winter happens, then spring will happen. And if we could find a way in New Hampshire to live with COVID, to work around it rather than to run from it, that would be better. But obviously, it's safety first. And we're fortunate, New Hampshire right now is doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Compared to some of these other states.
That's true.
I wonder, like in Texas, where Texas is having a real disaster of a time.
Yeah.
Are they canceling their? I mean, and we know what football's like in Texas.
Right.
High school football.
Yeah.
I mean, they put 6,000 kids, students and adults and so on in the stadium. I haven't heard that they're canceling their sports.
I don't think so. I mean, and one of the things, we're not going to debate COVID here, but one of the things, even in those states where they're spiking, the deaths are significantly low.
And there's a greater amount of younger people that are contracting it too, and that's why they just close the bars and the gyms
and all
like
that stuff. Yeah,
which it's scarier that now younger people are getting it, because that brings into something that affects us greatly is school.
Yeah,
and I think we posed this question last week. Do you see a scenario where there could be sports, but we're not in school?
We're not in school. Yeah, I mean. I would like to see that scenario if that's going to happen. I mean, I want to go to school. I mean, let's on the record. I would like to be back in school and teaching again at school and seeing my students. But if we are in a remote learning situation, can there be sports? I would hope so. The issues that I think we had talked about is the transportation piece and kind of figuring that out. But I know that everything's on the table, right? We always say everything's on the table.
I more than ever.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's thinking outside the box too.
Yeah.
And having sports without being in school is definitely outside the box, and it would be better than nothing.
Right.
It would be better than nothing, and any sport right now is better than nothing.
Right. And I had talked to a softball coach just yesterday. And I know that we had talked a little bit in the baseball world that if for some reason fall sports are canceled at the high school level, maybe we can continue playing baseball, playing softball. All these sports are currently happening, and we'll just kind of be outside of the school district. But
I think Coach Skelly said something about we play baseball until our hands fall off, something like that.
Like our fingers freeze or something.
Freeze or something like that.
I mean, let's do it. But and that's a good segue. So we've played 7-8 games, whatever it's been, okay? And we've been around a lot of games. The kids are so excited to be back out there.
Yep.
They're so happy. It's so good to see them together. The competition, they've been just like everyone else, stuck inside for 3 months.
And a lot of times in summer baseball, we struggle getting kids there because of vacations, because
Right.
they're tired, they're doing other things.
Yeah.
We are not having any difficulty getting kids to games this time.
They want to be there.
A
a lot of
so
kids that didn't
our
have their
rosters-
seniors, they didn't have their senior season, so they are now.
Yeah.
So
Our rosters are bigger than ever.
yeah,
Kids want to play, and it's great. It's good to see.
it is.
There is softball going on. We see, Coach Shaw has something going on at the Nick.
Yeah. I just talked. So I went to the dentist this morning. See, don't look good. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So my hygienist, her daughter, plays 14U softball.
Okay.
And they were at a big tournament this weekend down in Londonderry. There are 5 or 6 teams there, so it's great to see that softball is going, and it's going full tilt. And they had the social distancing and the COVID guidelines, and everything seemed to be working.
Do you notice that there seems to be, especially, I know my kid, I'm sure with your kid too, his spirits are up, the fact that he's playing.
Yeah. Yeah, looking
looking
forward to it.
Instead of waking up and the only thing you had to look forward to was a workout.
Yeah.
Now you're actually seeing if there's any benefit from it. But
Right.
All right, nationally, Major League Baseball, from when we had our show last week to this week, there was a lot of movement.
Yeah.
They have a deal in place.
Right.
They're going to have a 60-game schedule that's going to start around July 24th. They're reporting to training camp starting July 1st, and there's a 7-day window based on the city and where they're at. And I think, until, and we said this before, until the first pitch is thrown, I think there's a lot of things that are up in the air.
Right.
I put down some of these changes, and they're changes, and I think they're all for the better.
Yeah.
That baseball is going to explore, and I bet you they stay permanent. The universal DH, which is going to be so everybody gets a designated hitter.
I like it.
I'm not fully understanding why the universal DH is happening now at COVID. What's the benefit? Just the pitcher. Why?
I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
Yeah, I don't know how. I'm trying to wrap my head around the COVID piece. Like how would that impact pitching? I don't know.
Okay, so we're both not in the know on that one. If anybody else knows, please let us know. No celebratory contact.
Yeah.
High fives, hugs.
Yeah. So we've been coaching a little bit, right? And it's you try not to do it, but I think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be to the extent that it
We don't shake hands at the end of these games now.
We don't shake hands.
Tip our hats
I do a curtsy actually.
You do a curtsy.
Yeah, I do a curtsy. Yeah.
But basically, everybody stays to the side. Coaches wave at each other.
And then
we move on.
But we've seen a couple of fist bumps here and there. But we've also got what am I trying to say? Hand sanitizer.
Lysol?
Yeah. We have Lysol. One game I was the Lysol man, rub it on the balls and stuff. So, but yeah, so that's okay. So there's not going to be any celebratory things.
The grand tradition of gross habits is on hiatus. I didn't write that down.
I was going to say, you wrote this?
I didn't write that. I copied
That's
it.
fantastic.
No spitting, chewing of tobacco, or sunflower seeds, or any combination thereoonthereof.
I'm all right with that.
Grand tradition of gross habits.
I love that. And you know what? I fully support this because spitting's disgusting. The only reason why I spit is because I've got something in my mouth that I got to get out. But chewing tobacco is absolutely nasty.
When I played in college, I was the only kid on my college team that did not chew tobacco. It was back in the late '80s, early '90s, and just big wads of chewing tobacco. It was just I never got on board with it, and I never will, obviously. And I'm kind of glad to see that's out. Yeah. Seeds.
See, I know a lot of kids do seeds,
but there's still
people love seeds.
If you think about it, they're still spitting things all over the place. And when you look in a dugout and the floor is blanketed with seeds, those are in people's mouths.
Spit seeds is what they are.
Yes, they're in people's mouths. So taking a step back from that, it is kind of gross. Yeah. Base runners, fielders, distances. Same thing that we're dealing with. The ball will be thrown out once it has been touched by multiple players. So we've been sanitizing the balls. Post-game showers are discouraged. It's and then they're going to be screened. But I want to get back to extra inning rules. Extra inning rule. So if there's extra innings so starting in the 10th inning, for each half inning, a runner starts on second base with nobody out. And so that should theoretically speed up those games.
It should.
Quite a bit, and I think that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
I like it when they change the extra inning rules, like they did in hockey when they went to 3-on-3.
Yeah.
3-on-3 in the NHL level, because those guys are so incredibly good. It's so fun to watch because the talent, there's not physical. It's just pure talent that's out there. This is going to be interesting because this is going to be exciting. A guy on second base to start the game, the inning.
I think it'll be exciting. My question for you, though, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, if that run scores, is that...
No, because the bottom half happens.
No. I get that. I'm just thinking from the pitcher's statistics point of view. Because, stats means money for these guys.
Well, theoretically, it wouldn't be an earned run.
It wouldn't be an earned run. I know that.
They didn't let him on base.
Okay.
But it would be a run.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It
would be an inherited runner.
Yeah.
I mean, so that doesn't affect, because relievers are, based on inherited runners. They have no control over that. They wouldn't have any control over this. Yeah. I think statistics are going to be interesting. Yeah. There's a legitimate chance that somebody's going to hit 400 this year. Because there's often, by the 60th game of the year, somebody's hovering around 400.
Yeah.
So, does it count?
I mean, no, it can't count. I mean, I guess it counts with an asterisk. I mean, we have so many asterisks now for everything.
The whole season's going to be an asterisk. And I think the championship's going to be an asterisk too. Whoever wins the World Series, if we get to the World Series, I think that's going to be an asterisk.
But you've already said this. The best part about this, come August 15th, the Sox won't be 15 back.
That is true. Yes.
Yeah, the Sox have a chance this year. It's exciting.
All right, we're going to do this for each one of them.
All right.
I know it's early. Who do you got? Your early prediction for Major League Baseball. Now that we know that it's coming back.
For MLB?
Yeah. Who's winning?
Let's see. Put me on the spot. Not the Astros.
No, they're gonna.
No, not the Astros.
They're gonna be so bruised up by the time that they get there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna get balls thrown at them all year long. So.
I'm
I'm
going with the Dodgers.
Okay, I have a very unpopular pick.
Okay.
It's gonna be the Yankees.
Yeah. I mean, I was leaning towards that, but I'd like to. I would like to see the Red Sox, of course, but I would like to see the Dodgers because I'd actually like to see Price and Betts.
Yeah. I think the Yankees and I think the Nationals could repeat.
Yeah,
because they still have the pitching there.
Yeah.
And
now who's not coming back though? Zimmerman is not coming back.
Okay, I missed that one.
Yeah, he's not. He's decided not to play. So.
That brings up the next thing is the NBA. 22 teams are coming.
Yep.
They're starting July 30th.
Yeah. And
some players are not coming back.
Right.
Avery Bradley, which is a very pivotal part of the Lakers,
right,
is not coming back. There was another one that had said he wasn't coming back. Speaking of NBA, do you know Dwyane Wade was in town?
I heard, yeah. I heard that he went down to the bubble for an ice cream.
He hung around for about an hour signing autographs.
That's cool.
So he has a child going to Brewster.
Yep.
In the fall, hopefully.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see a little bit more of him.
Yeah.
I was explaining to my daughter, I was like, I've never heard of him. And I was like, Dwyane Wade's one of the 25 best basketball players in NBA history.
Yeah.
He is, he's in that upper echelon of players.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, a pretty good guy, too.
Good.
I mean, I don't think that he's been in the news very much as far as any negative things. So,
so with
good for Wolfeboro.
that is cool. And, you know what? Maybe we'll get him on the show. Ooh. He can call in.
Ooh.
Huh?
That would be a big coup for us.
That would be. Dwyane Wade. All right, Timothy, you hear that? Dwyane Wade. We're gonna go after him. The other thing is they're playing 8 games, right? They're gonna play an 8-game end of the season before they start the playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're gonna. It's kind of almost like a little tune-up.
Yep.
So and then
again, I don't understand why July 30th, but they're sticking to the bubble.
Yeah. They're going to Orlando. Disney World.
Potential of 96 days in the bubble.
Yep.
They're not bringing all the teams, so that should open up some room for.
Yeah.
And there's discussion on can you bring family or can you not bring family?
Yeah.
If the family has to stay in the bubble. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think that's probably going to end up being the most successful scenario out of all the other teams.
Yeah.
That they probably
the
NBA. Probably going to have the best chance to make it through the season because of that bubble. Because, for instance, if there's a real second wave that comes in October or to September, and if they've established that bubble, they shouldn't get affected by it.
They should be.
Where these other teams, NHL, they're all different. All these programs are different, but they have phase 2 of training camp that's still optional. So it's 250 players have been tested, 15 are positive, so that's a pretty decent amount. They're doing 24 teams. They have not set the date when they're starting games, but camp officially opens July 10th. So
right. This has been disappointing for the Bruins because, I mean, they're the best team in the NHL. I mean, they were on track to just cruise to the Cup.
They were in the news a little bit, not the Bruins, but the NHL, because they had their draft, their lottery.
Yeah.
And the number one pick is to be determined.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
Because they still haven't decided who is the last place team, or it's however they did it. And so they have to go and play this tournament to see who gets the last place team, just the beginning part of it.
Yeah.
And so but how they structured it, a legitimate playoff team could end up with the number one pick.
Yeah.
Which is
scary
stuff. Because a team that's pretty good, like Toronto, is pretty good.
They could get the number one pick.
They could get the number one pick.
Yeah.
And they already have Austin Matthews.
What are these games going to look like for hockey? Like 19 to 18 scoring? Because everyone wants to throw it to get that number one pick? Like,
Who knows? I found it.
We're going to play without a goalie.
They're bringing in extra goalies, so I think they're worried about the goalies, too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It goes back to that, like, do you tank your season for the number one pick if you're not a legitimate threat?
Relegation league. We need a relegation league.
Comes back to your idea. I like it.
All right, Patriots. Big news this week.
Man, yeah.
Big news, and I've come around to it. My initial reaction was very negative, but they've signed Cam Newton.
Yeah.
And I was upset. It was 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Upset when I saw it. I was all in on Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
And what are your initial thoughts? My initial thought, I was upset.
Yeah, well, you know my initial thoughts. I was fine. I was okay with it, just because the Patriots didn't spend a lot of money to get him. $7.5 million with some incentives. I'm okay with that because I think
$7.5 million is the maximum that he
can
get.
make. That's including the incentive. Including the incentives.
So he's like a 1.2 is his base or something crazy.
It's almost
like that.
Almost like a league minimum, almost.
Yeah.
But I think it's great because this could actually create real competition for Jarrett Stidham. You got Brian Hoyer in the mix and stuff, and I think this will maybe light even more of a fire under Stidham. I think he's one and done. It's just a 1-year deal. So if Jarrett Stidham is not ready to lead the Patriots, this will give him another year to prepare. So I think overall, I think it's a win. It's a win-win. Cam Newton obviously is coming off injury. You've seen the tweets out there that we just signed him to a year of injured reserve. I don't think so. I think he's ready to play, ready to compete. You're talking about a guy that was, MVP. So this guy's a stud.
So I have a little thing on pros and cons. Pros is a salary, no guaranteed of a starting job.
Yeah.
Pros is Cam Newton can dominate. Mm-hmm. He has dominated.
Yeah.
I guess it does raise the ceiling a little bit as far as what they can reach. Mm-hmm. Because of what Cam Newton can do, it does provide a little excitement because Josh McDaniels, see what he can do with the offense now.
Yeah.
So those are the pros. The cons, I think there's quite a few. I think this potentially undermines what they had going with Stidham. Now, I'm also reading that they're not happy with what they've seen from Stidham over the past month, and that's what led to this.
Yeah.
So that's certainly a con.
But do you think? Can I question you on that? Do you think that's really true over the past month? Because Belichick said a couple months ago, when the Cam Newton's name has been mentioned now for a couple months, right? And Bill didn't rule out Cam Newton.
No, but I think that's Bill to keep Stidham focused. Mm-hmm. And something's changed.
Yeah.
Something changed in the past month. Now, maybe it's as simple as Cam Newton agreed to come in at minimum salary.
Yeah.
And that could very well be what it is. But I'm worried now about where Stidham's at. Mm-hmm. So, cons. Cam Newton has proven that he's all about himself.
Yeah.
And he sent out a vlog today, a video of himself, working out. And now Brady did this kind of crap too towards the end, and we kind of lost a little bit of respect for Brady. Because Brady used to be I'm there first in the parking lot in the morning. I'm working.
Yeah.
Keep the cameras away from me.
Yeah.
And then down the stretch, It was making documentaries about myself and how I work and,
Right.
and TB12 and all this other kind of stuff. That is Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
What does Cam Newton do after a game? He gets himself dressed up
Yeah.
in designer clothing
Yeah.
to bring attention to himself.
To do his press conference. Yeah.
So that's I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
So that's a major con. I think a high-end Cam Newton, they could win.
Mm-hmm.
And I would even say that a high-end Cam Newton right now is better than last year's Brady.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But
Because Cam Newton's mobile.
he's very well. He's huge
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
When a motivated Cam Newton is really good. But
Plus, Cam Newton he's going to be competing this year for another big contract.
yep.
So he really needs to have great numbers this season in order to be able to, make us $20 million again.
Okay, there's another. The Patriots don't worry about their numbers.
Yeah.
What if they feel like they can run the ball really well this year? How's Cam Newton going to deal with that
Yeah.
when he's trying to put up numbers?
We'll evaluate how well he can hand the ball off. Yeah. I got
So,
you. Yeah.
I do think that there's a lot of cons with this. Short term, I think this affects Stidham. Maybe it does motivate him. Maybe Stidham wins the job because Cam Newton was not guaranteed the starting job.
Right.
So maybe Stidham just straight up wins the job and they cut Cam Newton and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen them bring in players into camp before, and we're all excited. They're big names, and then they got cut, and they're like, "What happened to that?"
Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long term, I guess I think that bringing in a Cam Newton says a lot about Jarrett Stidham.
Mm-hmm.
That something was amiss over the past few weeks.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it says something about him. But I also wonder, though, because training camp is going to be delayed. We're assuming they have the NFL season,
Right.
too.
Right.
And training camp was going to be delayed, that they needed somebody with more experience to come in because Stidham just wasn't going to be
Yeah.
ready.
He wouldn't be game ready. Yeah.
So,
It's interesting. It's exciting. I think I think there's a lot of excitement now. Patriots Place and the Patriots get a little something. I think for me it is something to kind of take the focus off Brady and Gronk, because the Boston sports media, that's
and
all.
soon to be Antonio Brown down there.
Yeah,
That came out this morning.
That's okay. But
He could blow up any team. I'm
Yeah.
I'm okay with
Yeah.
that because, I know that you're rooting for Tampa and all that kind of stuff.
I'm rooting for Tom and Gronk.
I personally hope that Tampa's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I really do. I want him to regret leaving.
Turn into the Cleveland Browns.
Yes, I want him to regret leaving.
Yeah.
And
But what I was getting at, the point is that maybe now the Boston media, sports media, will stop talking a little bit about Brady and Gronk, and now we've got Cam Newton. So enough to start focusing on Cam Newton. And
he'll
the
give them
Patriots.
plenty to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
He will. Just his outfits alone, he's going to give them plenty to talk about.
It's true.
I would like to see him come out in just sweats. I'd be. The first few weeks are going to be important. Does he talk about the team? Does he talk about himself? Is it about himself? And to see where he's at. He must know what he's getting into with Bill. He must.
Yeah, you have to.
Everybody knows who Belichick is. Everybody
Yeah.
knows what to expect from him.
Right.
He can't be thinking that he's going to come in with his diva personality and it's going to work.
Right.
Because he's going to be gone.
I was going to say, because Bill will just cut him.
Only 2 teams inquired about Cam Newton.
Who was the other one?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But only 2 teams inquired about him. So
Interesting.
I find that really interesting. So, what kind of baggage is he dealing with?
Yeah. We're going to find out.
We are going to find out. All right. That's about a half hour, and we said we were going to do a quick 30-minute show today.
All right.
So let's thank our sponsors.
All right. Scully's Market.
And Downtown Grill and Cafe.
And Morrissey's Porch and Pub. Thank you to our Alley Champagne and Timothy Goodwin. And, of course, Go Knights.
Go Knights.